know, Lisa Brandt, that this is the last episode of the first half of 2026?
Oh, my goodness. No, is it the third episode of the fifth, sixth of... No.
Oh, now you're making fun of me.
I did not know that. It does go fast. It does go fast.
It really does. And that we're in our fourth year of doing this, and we just love you for listening, for joining along, and for telling your friends about it. As a matter of fact, you met a new friend in the grocery store the other day.
Yeah, I was in line getting just a couple things at the Foodland in Port Stanley and chattering as I do to the guy, I shouldn't say guy, totaling me up. He was like a kid, a teenager. And the woman behind me with her buggy said, "Are you Lisa?" And I said, yeah. And I thought, oh, God, what have I done now? But her name is Trish, and she listens to Gracefully and Frankly. And I was absolutely tickled. I wish I'd asked a bunch of other things. I wish I'd suggested she send in a voice message. I was flabbergasted. I was absolutely shocked. She and her sister started listening when they were on a car trip, and she's listened ever since. I guess that particular episode, we were discussing ice issues in Port Stanley, and she thought, what? So I was absolutely thrilled, and they're regular listeners. And anyway, Trish, thank you so much, and thank you for saying something. I'm really glad to have met you.
Were you wearing a Gracefully and Frankly t-shirt, which we have lots of in your size, whatever size you are? We don't upcharge at gracefullyandfrankly.com in our boutique. Or did she recognize your voice?
It must have been my voice because I did not have a Gracefully and Frankly t-shirt on. In fact, I wasn't properly made up to be seen by humans. So it was one of those things, run down, get milk and eggs or whatever and run back home. But yeah, no, it was great. It was it really made my day. I was absolutely tickled.
Well, that's kind of the other side of the coin then of something. You posted a meme last week that caught my attention that said 0 days without being awkward to a stranger in a grocery store. And I thought, oh God, there's going to be a story here. And I'm so glad it's you for a change instead of me.
See, you do it too. I mean, we all do it, I think. When you walk away from somebody that you've encountered in an environment like that, and my little voice goes, oh, why didn't you just stop at thanks or something? Why'd you have to keep going? But the guy had accidentally taken my cart, and it was just a quick second. And he brought it back and said, oh, too early or something like that. And instead of me just going, ha, thank you, and going on with my day, I said, yeah, that happened to me one time. I took a guy's cart and he yelled at me so hard that I started crying. And the guy's looking at me like, does this thing have turbo? Because I want to get away from this woman very quickly. So as I turned and walked away, I mean, it's a true story, but as I turned and walked away, I thought, he didn't need to know that. What for?
So. I know. Okay. All right. Now back it up. We're going to roll back the tape here because I got to hear about you crying because somebody yelled at you in the grocery store.
Oh, this was around Christmas. 5 years ago, maybe. And everybody had full buggies, they're getting turkeys and everything else. And I walked off with the wrong cart. And I got way at the other end of the store. It was one of those big superstores, and looked and went, I didn't get that. So then I came back. But you've got to understand, too, like everybody had pulled their carts over in the same area, and it was just a madhouse. So anyway, I came back and started sort of looking for my cart, and the guy whose cart I had came up to me, and he was just shaking. He was absolutely rattling furious. His face was beet red. I thought he might punch me. He was so mad. And he said something to the effect of how stupid I was or whatever. And I gave him his cart back, and I said, are you seriously this angry at another person around Christmas time? And he went off on a rant. You're effing right I am, and you're just incredibly stupid, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe you're so dumb. You walk away, I'm wasting time and everything. And I just stood there for a minute, and then I just burst into tears and decided that I'd gotten enough groceries and went to the front of the store and paid for them and left. I just didn't even feel like shopping anymore. There were so many people around, and it was pretty humiliating.
Aw.
Anyway, yeah, it was just one of those things where I was shocked at how badly he was taking it. But then again, I don't know what else was going on in his life. He may have had somebody in the hospital. He could have had, there's a million things that could have been happening. And I was just lucky that day.
Yeah, you were the target. You were the one who got it all.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, so now not only did that happen, but I told another stranger that happened without context. Just, I'm just a grocery store crier, apparently.
Apparently. Clean up in aisle 4. Lisa's here. Jeez. Well, when I saw that meme and I reached out and said, are we going to be talking about this in episode 182? Because, pretty much everything in our lives is content. Even when we're not content, it's content. I had found this little saying on a account that I follow called Tiny Buddha Official. And it says, you don't realize how rare it is to feel completely unjudged until you find a friend you don't have to edit yourself around. It goes on, you can ramble, contradict yourself, change your mind mid-sentence, and still feel accepted. You don't worry about sounding stupid or dramatic. You don't rehearse what you're going to say. You just speak. And being that unguarded with someone changes the way you breathe in the world.
Isn't that the truth?
It's how we are with each other.
It is, yep. And sometimes I stop and think I can be terse sometimes when I speak or whatever, but I think you know how to fill in the blanks of that and know what I really mean.
I go very silent.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what friendship is, right? It's accepting of things. It's not being perfect.
Yep, you're perfect in all your imperfections, both of us, right? That's what we keep telling ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's what friends are for, too. One more note on the grocery store thing. I made a note of this when first we bought our place here on Pender Island in British Columbia, Gulf Islands. There's a grocery store called True Value, which is not the American hardware store chain that used to advertise a lot with a baseball Hall of Famer. No, it's True Value. And I guess it's True Value if you've got a lot of money and know that you can't buy it off the island because everything's expensive. But one of the neat things about it, Lisa, is when you're checking out, and the first time we did this, it was weird. They said, where do you want your 1% to go? And I went, well, right back in the back of my limousine, please. No. I said, no, I had no idea what it was. So they pointed to the wall, and up on the wall is a board. It's almost like you're in Kawartha Dairy and you're trying to pick which flavor you want from all these flavors on the board, but they're all charities. And they take 1% off your grocery bill and donate it to whichever charity you want. Yep. So this was new to me, and I asked them, I said, well, which one doesn't get any? And they said number 50 or something, and I think it was Pride or something. And I said, well, give it to that. We've always chosen that one ever since because we'll go for the underdog. But I think that's such a marvelous idea. Instead of Galen Weston asking you when you get to the checkout at the overpriced Loblaw store, if you'll donate to a charity so that he can have the tax receipt.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They do that. I think it's a Value Mart store. True Value is a Value Mart store, and there's some Value Marts here in Ontario, and they do that. They have like these little boxes, but it does kind of burn my biscuits to get asked to round up. And, I want to because I want to give, but it just seems like maybe take 75 cents off that can of whatever.
Yes.
It's just not right. That's really great. So you're going for the underdog. That's terrific.
I always will. While we're talking percentages and rounding up and giving at the checkout and all that kind of thing, it kind of brings us around to tipping. But something fascinating that you bring to the table quite literally this week.
There's an app that's in sort of beta testing right now. So it's got a round of people trying it out. It's not available widely yet. So say you go to A&W, they're Canadian, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you go to A&W, you go up to the counter, you place your order, and you want to pay by tapping your card, so they give you the little thingamajigger, and it asks for a tip. Mm-hmm. And people are getting pretty sick of the whole tipping everywhere you go, even places that aren't restaurants. So what this app does is if the restaurant's on board and the person who is making the order is on board, you don't get that question until you're through your meal or partway through your meal. Then you know if the food's any good. Then you know if you're getting service or the place is disgusting because nobody's cleaned it up. And you don't have that pressure of feeling like you should be doing something when you really don't want to. And I think that's the issue. It's not even that people don't want to tip as much. They don't want to have to stand there and decide it. How do you know you want to tip before anything has even occurred in a place like that?
That's a very good point.
So it's called TipWise, and it's just being, like I say, tested right now. But if enough places come on board and it's a go, then that's what it'll do. So it'll prompt you after about 15 minutes or so to say, hey, did you want to leave a tip for these guys or not? And you can or you don't have to. And then you decide on your own. You don't have people lined up behind you and a person standing there holding the machine in front of you and all that kind of thing. I just thought it was kind of a better way of going about it because people still do want to tip, but that pressure is just not appreciated.
It raises an interesting question about human nature, for me at least. Are you less likely to tip if there isn't someone looking at you? Or are you more likely to tip when you're in the midst of enjoying the experience? This is the best burger you've ever had, and you get your ketchup coated finger and put it on your phone and put in the 15, 18, 20%. It'll be very interesting to see. Have they got any kind of preliminary data as to what people's reactions have been yet?
Well, so far they have a couple of restaurants signed up and they've got some people trying it out. So they're really just going through looking for bugs, seeing if people like it. So far, they've got meetings booked with restaurants that want to try it out. And, it's not for everybody, but it might be for some people. And if there's anything we're learning is that we're not all one giant mob that likes the exact same thing. Everybody likes to do things differently.
You know what I don't like is when I get a message from Expedia or something and I have literally just arrived at my hotel and it's like, how was your check-in experience? How was your room? How was your stay? Okay, the check-in was fine, but I don't know how my stay was yet. I just bloody got here.
Yeah. And you're supposed to rate the amenities and how the parking lot looked and whether the staff were all great and everything. And you don't know yet.
So that's kind of premature. I like rating things once I've used them to let other buyers know, because so often if you're buying something online, whether it's through a Canadian vendor on Etsy or, Low Carb Canada or any of the Canadian companies that we are so loyal to, I love rating products there so people know, okay, these knives are great, or this wasn't at all what I expected. But of course, Amazon is the one that really has the whole rating thing down, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
And they're doing their Prime Days this week. And we're not mentioning it to promote Prime in any way, but only to tell you about a great Canadian product that you can get at 20% off, because they're not going to get rolled by Bezos. And they want to make sure that if you are going to buy an anti-inflammatory that comes with a guarantee and is Canadian made, you look at Sierra Sil and go to sierrasil.com. Find out about this Canadian company and what it's doing for people and for pets, and read accounts from real people like you and me who have these all mineral capsules in our lives and are so much better and pain-free for it. And just during Prime, so like until tomorrow, you use the code PRIME20, Prime spelled out and 220, and get 20% off everything. As soon as this podcast is over, go to the website.
sierrasil.com. Sierra like the mountains, SIL.com.
You know what Amazon is really slimy at? They have these influencers, of which you and I are not.
Right.
But people will write on Threads, and I love Threads. Are you getting into Threads yet?
Oh, I'm totally into it. I'm just not on there as much, but I check it a few times a day, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's just kind of a saner, kinder version of Twitter. And I don't know, I like it. I think we're all pretty good at policing or deleting and blocking the MAGAs that try and get through and that sort of thing. But there's one thing happening on Threads that makes me crazy, and that is when you get really engrossed in somebody's story and it goes one thread and then the next story and then the next. And then at the end, it has a link to something you can buy to make it better through Amazon, and it's like, was any of that true? Was it written
Oh.
by AI? Why did I get sucked into this story? And it makes you just so cynical about anything that really is out there.
Yeah, I find that there some of the stories, and not even with the link, some of them just seem like they're too perfect and moralistic, but I haven't run into the ones with the links yet. That would really piss me off.
Yeah. I mean, I got caught with one that was talking about dog bowls. And I took my dog, and I've taken so many dogs, and they've had kidney failure. And the vets have shown me on the bowls, even the stainless steel ones, that this is where such and such builds up. And then it's like you have to get a water fountain, but it has to be this kind. And it's like, oh, I see what's going on here. Okay. That kernel of truth has been completely corroded by you trying to sell me something. So we all have to be cynical about stuff. But there was a post that really grabbed me, and I don't know if she posted it just for likes or hates, but I needed to get your opinion on this. And as women of a certain age, I think a lot of us are going to have opinions on this. So this woman said, I just called my mom on her birthday, and she was crying because it's 7:30 in the evening and I hadn't called her all day. Am I being manipulated, or am I the asshole, or, that kind of a question out there? And I was amazed at how divided, almost directly down the middle, the responses were.
By age, do you think?
Definitely by age, but also where you are in your life experiences. The mom's 72. So what's your take on that? And then I'll try and pick another side if by chance you and I are on opposite sides for a change.
Well, I think if I had been the daughter's age, I would have agreed with her at that time that at least I called. But now that I've lost some people and am older and hopefully a little bit wiser, definitely grayer, I would say get off your ass, call your mom earlier in the day. This is her birthday. She's the only one you get, and being an adult orphan, you give anything to be able to talk to your parent again. So that changes my whole view on it. And I think she should have made more of an effort to call her earlier. I do.
Or just a text. See, that's the thing. We are in an age now where you can roll over in the morning, turn off your alarm, go, oh, okay, it's June 25th. It's my mom's birthday. I'm going to text her and just say, hey, Mom, got a busy day, but I look forward to talking to you tonight. Have a wonderful birthday. That would have set the stage for just the most gentle day for her.
Assuming she has
a good relationship.
No, I was going to say something you can text her on because, for example, my mom, I got her a phone and told the little white lie that I got it free because I'd been with Rogers for so long and blah, blah, blah. So I paid for that damn thing for a year, and I showed her how to use it a million times, and she never, ever used it. And assuming that the mother has text capabilities, because I know quite a few peers who don't want anything to do with smartphones, and I do not blame them one bit. I think we do because they were a part of work and we just got so used to them and tethered to them, but not everybody has. But I agree with you that some sort of a reach out earlier would not have taken much. Oh no, I had to work. Well, you get a break at work. I mean, it's your mom. And if she was like my mom, her kids were the most important things in her life, for better or for worse.
And then you have the mothers who truly are manipulative, who went out of her way to make her daughter feel awful, and that the daughter had maybe dragged her feet all day because she knew that it was going to be a call she didn't look forward to making, even if it was just for her birthday. So you never know. The mother-daughter relationship, any parent, any child, any two people can be so complicated, and we all want to boil it down to a quick and speedy answer for social media. But it was quite enlightening to read both sides of it. And of course, as that mom, if I thought I'd gone all day without my daughter thinking of me or anybody really special to me, it would have put me in a funk that probably or could have ended up in tears at the end of the day and feeling forgotten. I mean, there's no worse feeling than being forgotten on a big day.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, if I had it to do over again, and it's not a big regret and I don't spend time mooning about it, but knowing what I know now, my mom was manipulative and my mom was a bunch of different things. Part of her personality was like that. But I would, knowing what I know now, push through it anyway. Push through it harder, and just maybe things would have been a little bit different if I hadn't chosen the avoidance route so many times. But everybody's got to go through their own thing and figure it out for themselves. It's easy to say how you would do it, but everybody's mom's a little bit different too, right?
Yes.
And there's one just right for you.
Yeah, there is, if you're lucky. If you're lucky. And fortunately, that whole thing didn't end with, buy my book about relationships at this link here, because I'm always looking out for that. Speaking of buying books, I'm like the Kristen Wiig character on SNL. I'm just so full of excitement, I can't help it.
Oh,
my God. It's your book birthday. Oh, God.
Yes.
I went into Oprah there, too. I'm so sorry.
And you get a book, and you get a book. Yeah, Little Voices, my new novel, is out, and it's in paperback and ebook. Both ways. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. We'll see how that goes.
Yes, we will. And where can people buy it as of today, Little Voices?
Well, it's on Amazon, and it will also be at Lake House Books in Port Stanley the beginning of July. But the reason it's on Amazon, because I know sometimes people say it should be chapters, it should be Canadian or whatever. It will be there. But I can tell you, as a person who tracks their sales, I get no sales that way. They're all through an Amazon partner or an Amazon American, Canadian, Japanese. One of my books is big in Japan. So you go where
the money is. You have to.
Go where the sales are. I mean, it will be available for Kobo, but I think the only person who bought it for a Kobo was me.
Oh.
And that was just to make sure I did the experience and saw how it downloaded and made sure it looked all right.
Okay, so in short, if you were putting a hashtag on this, what kind of a book would you say that it is?
A book of words, Erin. A book of many words.
Are they in English?
They are in English.
Yes.
Some have capitals. Some have small letters.
Wait. Is there punctuation?
There's lots of it.
What? Wow,
Yep.
for a limited time only.
That's right. So it's a story of a woman who thinks she missed the boat in life and comes to realize that maybe she hasn't. That is the short version without giving away. There's actually sort of I would call it a bit of a surprise, almost magical element in there, although it's not a magical book by any
No,
means.
but magical is exactly the word I was going to choose for it.
Excellent. Well, and in my wildest dreams, I would love if people didn't give it away.
Yep. Neither the book nor the ending. Buy your own damn book.
But that's not for me to control.
Right.
So, because I think if you describe it fully and say what happens, it doesn't give it the weight that it needs in order to be a story that somebody wants to read. This will all make sense once you've read it.
Yes.
This woman came to me sort of fully formed, and the whole idea of what happened to her and everything all sort of arrived at once in a weird tumble of creativity. So again, that's for somebody else to decide. But anyway, it's out there.
It is out there, and it's a great, light, fun, fantastic, in the fantasy sort of use of the word, and you're going to love it. So, Little Voices, congratulations, Lisa.
Thanks. I have a link on our Gracefully and Frankly website, gracefullyandfrankly.com, under the blog post if anybody's interested in reading more about it.
Good. And do read it. Love it. Let us know what you think of it, too. And congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Giving birth to a book. It's painful. There's all those corners. So well done. You know, it doesn't have to be painful is travel. We got an email from listener Alita Love, who wanted to know if we would talk about compression socks, of all things.
Right.
We like to talk about health things, and we weren't going to kind of do, okay, here's our segment on compression socks. But there was this whole thing that kind of came to us because vacation and travel season are upon us. And one of the things they say are totally worthwhile are compression socks for long flights. They can help reduce swelling, and those who are more susceptible to DVT, which we know is not a Trump, but deep vein thrombosis.
You know, my cousin in our European trip wore compression socks on every flight. I did not. I came home with feet that looked like
Flintstones.
Yeah, Flintstones. Like I've been running the car all day through the floor of the vehicle. And her feet were, ready for prime time. So there you go. That's enough reason for me right there.
You know what else is funny? She said, ever since we were talking about them, I keep seeing ads for them. Well, that's either the yellow car effect, that when you mention, oh, there's a lot of yellow cars, suddenly you start to see them. But more likely it's because, honest to goodness, and this is true, our devices are always listening. So if you were to say St. Lucia, St. Lucia, St. Lucia 4 times in the day, there are going to be ads that come up for St. Lucia. I'm not kidding. It's just the way it is.
What if I say St. Lucia for free, St. Lucia for free, St. Lucia for free? Will that make a difference?
I like the way you think. AirTags for luggage. Of course, it's almost a no-brainer at this point. If they use them for the Stanley Cup, you can use them for your bags. We have AirTags all over the place, and they're just super handy. Also great for finding your luggage and knowing if they left the same airport. Also, take that phone out of your pocket. It's right there next to your passport, but get a picture of where you parked, the level, because you're not going to remember it. You get home from your vacation, you're in such bliss or confusion or fatigue. Just take a picture of where you parked your car, or use it to take a picture of your hotel room number. I do that too, because they don't write it on the card or anything.
Yep.
Yeah. And also take the day off after you get home. You think you're going to be able to hit the ground running? Honey, you're not.
Yeah. Especially a longer trip or anything to do with time difference. Oh, my goodness. It's harder and harder, right? The older we get.
Yeah.
Take your melatonin, do all that kind of stuff, but you're still going to need some time to recover.
It almost goes without saying at this point in episode 182 of our podcast, because we do love to travel, you and I. And we should do a trip together sometime. Who knows? But take with you what you need to make your destination feel like home. Like, nobody wants to be that person that says, oh, no, this isn't the stuff we have at home. I don't like it. But in your room, it's quite all right to have that pillow that means comfort to you, to have that coffee maker so you're not drinking the stuff through the tea bags. Always, always, always have your Envy pillow with you.
And at the very least, if you think that taking the Envy pillow with you is going to be a little too much, get an Envy pillowcase. Mm-hmm. And then you won't wake up with all the wrinkly, puffy face that you sometimes get sleeping in a strange location. And you'll look refreshed when you get up and join everybody else for whatever it is you're doing. You want to look good in pictures too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what looks even better on them and you is using the code GF for 10% off to find out about Envy Pillow, ENVY, pillow.com, all Canadian company. Take them along with you. It'll feel as good as having that maple leaf on your chest. Hey, well, we can't let this week go by without saying a special salute and adios and happy retirement to Marilyn Dennis, whose final show is Friday, June 26th. She's going to hang up the headphones, although probably not like forever. If she's like you and me, she'll find other things to do, or maybe she will just step away and enjoy life with her relatively fresh husband and just have a good life. She's earned it.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Marilyn. May you find everything you want in your long retirement years.
Yes, especially good health. And, being one of the premier women of Toronto radio for all of those years, it's very interesting to hear another one, Maureen Holloway, this week, really sounding off on the Toronto Mike podcast. Yeah, she finally spills the tea. Everybody has asked me for the last 10 years or since it happened, what happened to Darren B. Lamb on CHFI? And it's not my story to tell, because thank God I got out of there, partly because of him. But, before he tried to drive the Maserati into a brick wall. So Maureen Holloway spills the tea at long last. She's all out of filters and other things that start with F. And we both listened to it. In fact, should we share a little clip?
Yeah, I think we should.
He wasn't the easiest person to work with, to begin with.
Right.
And anyway, I was in the midst of making plans to go back after Christmas, and he was going off to BC with his husband. They were building a house out there, and he never came back. He never came back from vacation, and the company refused to tell us what was going on, but they kept saying he's coming back. He had written us an email saying he wishes us well. And I was saying to management, what are you talking about? He's gone. Right. And they were like, no, he's coming back. We're just working some things out. You can tell right now I'm already getting exasperated thinking about it.
Oh, Mo.
Mo. Yeah, the one and only Maureen Holloway with Toronto Mike Boone.
Yeah, I love it. You know what? This is good. What they put her through at that radio station is absolutely inhumane.
Yeah.
To make somebody go on the air and pretend that everything's okay, to not be able to tell the truth to listeners. I mean, authenticity is what it's all about. And Rogers stamped that out. So good for Mo. Good for Maureen for telling the truth, and a great place to tell it with Toronto Mike.
But the whole point of it is that we built our show for 30 damn years on that radio station, on authenticity, on being real, on laughing and crying and sharing people's little wins and great losses, including our own. And then, just for Rogers to go, do nothing to see here. Anyway, Mo spills the beans, the tea, the whole thing. And it is Toronto Mike, the podcast. So find it, listen to it, and tell him who sent you. Because, it's always good to pull back the curtains on This Week in Totally Stupid or... Twits! May we move the Twits spotlight out to West Kelowna, British Columbia. West Kelowna, the part that's across the Okanagan where one of my sisters lives, was evacuated last week, or parts thereof. It's not new for these folks. They've been evacuated before because of massive forest fires. Well, in this case, Lisa, it was a campfire. A wildfire that prompted evacuation orders caused by a prohibited campfire inside a regional park. Fires are never, ever allowed in regional parks. And hundreds of properties were evacuated. However, a quick response from firefighters, my sister Leslie said that people all got their boats off the Okanagan to make way for the water bombers as needed.
Ugh.
This is a big operation. It's not just fire trucks trying to get across the big bridge there. And residents were allowed to return by evening. Oh my God, stop with the fires.
So what happens to this idiot who started the fire?
Burned at the stake. I thought that was good. No. At the time of this recording, they hadn't determined who it was. But the maximum fine, Lisa, $1,000.
That's it? That doesn't even cover the cost of the response or anything. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, it should be $10,000 or $50,000 at the very least. It should make them think more than once. I mean, with Canada Day approaching, there are going to be people who are doing stupid things with fireworks, and we are begging everyone, please just don't. Stay safe, keep the fire levels down, because everything is getting to tinderbox again, because it's summer in Canada.
Yeah, very dry, very dangerous.
Stay safe. And when we talk to you next week, we will have Canada Day 2026 under our belts. And lots more to talk about, as long as, you don't get into any skirmishes in the grocery store.
I'm the one who skirmished.
She wasn't skirm. She was skirm-ish.
Always buy the cauliflower, too, for some reason.
All right, my friend. Have a happy, happy Canada Day, and we'll talk to you next week.
We will.